Harley Quinn, Season 5, Episode 1, The Big Apricot. New city? Who this? Let's talk about it. All right, welcome back, Geek Variant. So today we're talking about Harley Quinn, and it has been a little bit. Glad to see it back, and it looks like they are about to get into some real shenanigans because last season wasn't necessarily the best in my opinion, but seems like they're coming out the gate strong with this one and kind of setting up a few things. So let's get right into it. So they end up having a recap basically as breakfast, as they're walking through Gotham, and Gotham looks like total crap. So if you remember from last season, several things went wrong, and they just kind of go over everything. Joker being impeached as mayor, and he's kind of dealing with whatever he's got going on because, again, the city is in ruins. You got the Bat family disbanded after several events going on, including Nightwing having some issues. So that's said and done. And then the Gotham City Sirens just imploded. Like, they did not keep it together. We see that Oracle straight up quit. Catwoman said, "I'm out," and still stole the jewel that she was after, which they were down there to steal Enchantress's jewel with some kind of demon inside. And they took off and just left kind of Harley and Poison Ivy just, hey, yeah, I guess we're done. Is what it is. And they just continue walking through the park having breakfast. So, they recap these events, and we end up seeing Clock King and Riddler, who have a lovely and very exciting relationship. And they are trying to keep, everything, on the up and up as far as their relationship goes. And they're kind of saying the same thing. And that's why Harley and Ivy are kind of getting these ideas like, okay, well, we kind of sit at home and do the same thing over and over again. We don't ever come out. What are we going to do? We want to do something. Let's figure it out. And they eventually end up going back to their place and having breakfast in bed, or more or less, or just eating in bed, and just kind of talking about stuff. But they see that Lois Lane has her expose on Lex Luthor, got him arrested. He's locked up. And, she's got this big how to do, like, hey, we're going to have this gala. It's going to be Superman's museum. We're having all this great stuff. And Harley, having saved Superman last season, he was weakened, like, took care of him. She wants her thank you. And she's like, what better thing to do than to go to this gala and have Superman say thank you, because he still hasn't said thank you. And Harley wants her thank you. And Harley gets what she wants. So in the process of this and kind of setting up, so they end up going to the exclusive gala, and everything kind of got set up to where they have the realization that Metropolis is just that much better. Like, this is the big apricot. It's that much better than Gotham. Everything is clean. Everything is perfect. There is essentially no crime. Bruce is more focused on the family business. As we see, he's dating Lena Luthor, as we find out at this gala. And they're just having a good old time. And we see that she has no qualms about Lex being locked up. She's like, whatever, I'm here. I got a full head of hair. I'm not worried about nothing. Pretty sure it's a wig. But we see shades of everything kind of being set up as we go, because more or less Superman was kind of helpless in the last season. He was able to do whatever he needed to do. And we see that Jimmy is in trouble because his bow tie got stuck in the door, but the automatons saved him, which rendered Superman useless. He was like, oh, so you don't need me. And he's going into this depressed state now, like, where it's like, okay. And, there's not really been a lot of crime. Like, everything's been good. Like, the city is looking as beautiful as ever, and nothing happens here anymore, which is the complete opposite, polar opposite of what's going on in Gotham. Gotham is a complete, crap fest with everything that's happening there. So with this being said, they end up continuing through the gala, and they talk about how there's this big artifact, this Superman's like greatest artifact, his most prized possession. So it is. And Harley still not received her thank you after she is trying to wave him down and everything. And she's like, I'm going to take a bath to this place if I don't get my thank you. But she also decides that, you know what, maybe we should, do something about it. While they're thinking about this, the automatons end up scanning them. We're like, okay, they're a high threat. They need to get out of here. And they end up getting thrown out onto a lovely and comfortable mattress, might I say. They end up getting thrown out of the gala, and they don't know what else to do. But Harley's again determined, so she's like, "Well, we're going to take the artifact. We got to find out what's going on with that because I didn't get my thank you." So she plans to steal this artifact while Superman, who is depressed, flies around with a tray of cookies, just dumping cookies into his mouth and moping around. And in the process of this, he just kind of flies off. So there's some high wire act going on. This some kind of Superman acrobatics team. Ivy and Harley end up infiltrating them, and it's like, all right, you find out about a tentacle fetish that freaking no Vine. I think about vines when it happens instead. It's more or less Harley's reaction, and Ivy likes it, but I digress. They end up setting us up together because they're still trying to find their romantic flame. They're trying to keep their spark. So this is kind of things that are alluding to this for them. So they end up setting up to steal the artifact, and they're trying to figure out how to get up there. And they realize that they're a whole acrobatic act. They can just swing around on all the stuff up there to get to the artifact, which they eventually do. But when they do, the automatons, which drones just got little arms and stuff and just kind of floating heads, they end up basically checking out. And you notice the color of them. They have a little pink eye. That should tell you something. But they notice them and they start attacking them. And basically Harley and Ivy are able to kind of take out the drones. And they go through this, and there's this amazing picture that was taken of them, and they're flying through the air. And in the process of this entire thing, they kind of get some notoriety on the front page of this great acrobatic act as they steal the artifact. But basically, after they stole it, it was revealed to be nothing more than Superman's baby blanket that he was wrapped in when he first came to Earth. So it's just like, oh, that's sweet, but it wasn't really nothing, and it's kind of a fruitless endeavor because again, it's still showing off because this is going to be revealed that night anyway, and it's kind of whatever. Ivy and Harley just whatever. They go about their business like they're feeling it. Like, let's go back home, and they go back home and they get into it with their stuff as usual. So they're getting it on and enjoying themselves, and they end up getting a thing the next day, morning or something like that, or later that evening. I don't know. However long they're getting into it. But as they do, they find out that they have this basket, and it's a front page news. It's got to be the next day. Freaking out thinking about it. It's a front page article about them and their entire antics from last night. So they've been invited to some kind of like brunch or something with Lena Luthor. So very excited about it. Like, because guess what? She's going to pay for brunch. They don't want to pay for it. They're about broke anyway, as far as we know. And because they just left Catwoman's apartment in Gotham, who Catwoman was paying for everything. So, and they have a condo already here because apparently Bruce Wayne sold probably a condo at some ridiculous rate at some point. So that's just funny here and there. But basically, they talk to her, and she shows up wearing the demon necklace that Catwoman has stole. So in the process of this, they're having a conversation and talking about the green space, and Ivy ends up making this entire green space and this this really big elaborate kind of thing with the trees and the plants, and one of these flowers end up smacking the necklace off of Lena, and ends up shattering, revealing the demon inside. And the demon's like, yo, I'm about to do some stuff. I am here. And then without missing a beat, here comes Harley with this bat and takes his head clean off with this bat, eliminates him altogether. And of course, Lena's like, thank you. Ivy's apologizing because things out of hand. And she's like, I don't care. It's like she's covered in red stuff. Lena's covered in red stuff. She's like, okay, I ain't worried about it. Superman shows up again, and guess what? He's like, oh, I guess you don't need me. Guess what? He's depressed again because he is not needed, and that is a problem for him. So he's kind of floating over there and sitting out the side, just like a thumbnail, and Harley's having a talk with him. And she's like, okay, well, when's the last time you had time to yourself? Oh, well, when I went to space a couple months ago, when I spun back, to bring Lois back to life. Let's see what they did there. But it's like Superman has not had a vacation. He's not done anything. He's just been depressed, and so because there's no crime, there's nothing for him to do. Which is seems like because there's no crime, there's nothing going on. It's the perfect time for Superman to take a vacation. And he's like, I'll take that Clark Kent guy with me, which means Lois will probably still be a focal point of the story, and Superman will go take some time off. Of course, the automatons. He explains that the automatons are always calculating how best to do everything, which they calculated letting Ivy and Harley steal the artifact would be a better outcome because it turns out to be nothing anyway. And all that's being calculated. That's another clue if you guys haven't picked it up yet. And while all this is being explained, Harley's just like, yeah, take the vacation, go do what you do. And since he's going to take Clark with him, she's talking to Ivy like, yeah, they're always, sneaking off. You never see the two of them in the same room. He wants to take him with him, so that Superman and Clark Kent have got to be a thing. They got to be freaking, cheat. Superman is cheating on Lois with Clark Kent. That's just it is what it is. So that's what they deduce. But while Harley's having this whole conversation heart to heart with Supes, we find out that Lena has made an offer for Ivy to be part of the Metropolis Green Initiative, which is to create stuff like she just created all over Metropolis and make it really pretty and beautiful and all this other kind of stuff. And in the process, we see them kind of take off, do their own thing, but the automatons show back up and start clearing all that stuff out because it's not what it needs to be. It's not aesthetically pleasing because we see floating back in the space station is Braniac, who is controlling the automatons, and he's trying to have a perfect meter. Like he has a meter almost 100% perfect, and that's what he's striving to be. And what I'm assuming is, he wants to get everything to perfect. Hey, this is perfect freaking time right here. Then let me bottle that up. It's a perfect society. I can put that with my collection type deal. And we know Harley and Ivy are going to massively throw a wrench in all his plans. They are not going to. They are two piss-smelling Gothamites who are in this city and deciding to stay in this city for all the shenanigans that everybody get into. So this is setting up to be really interesting. I want to see it this season more or less because of the chaos of shenanigans they're going to cause to ruin Braniac's setup. Like that's going to be the thing. So it's going to be freaking Harley and Lois. I'm pretty sure we're going to get the crew kind of coming in with Shard, Clayface. Like, we'll get them coming in at some point. Lois will probably be a problem. Don't know what Lena is going to do. If she's going to be an antagonist, I'm pretty sure she's, got a wig on and she's going to be doing her Luthor thing, which is what they're known to do. So I wouldn't be surprised by any of that. Whether she's in league with Braniac or not, don't know. That remains to be seen. And Batman is still just an idiot at times. So yeah, shaping up to be a interesting season to say the least. We just got more or less see how it goes. So by all means, hit that lovely red subscribe button. We appreciate you tuning in. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen this season? How else is stuff going to turn out? Are Harley and Ivy going to, do their thing and go back to Gotham at some point? Are they going to explore somewhere else at some point? What is going to be the way that they deal with Braniac? Because again, Superman is going to be on vacation, so it's going to be Braniac left to them. And because Ivy has a stake in it and she wants to create this Green Initiative thing, she's going to have to stop Braniac if she's going to be able to do what she wants to do. So it's up in the air and all bets are off when it comes to Gothamites in Metropolis. So we'll just kind of wait and see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.